Well, Happy New Year. I hope everybody's doing great. With that, we can start with questions.
Great. We'll start with Craig.
Coach, welcome back. I guess everyone's glad to see you back,
Recording
and
in progress.
you're doing well. Just what's it been like to be away? How good has it felt to come back?
It's been great to be back. It was hard to not be here. It's the first football game I've ever missed as a player, as a coach. So that was real difficult. It was difficult for me to watch that game and feel like I couldn't help my guys. So I hope I never have to go through that again. But I'm glad to be back.
Chris.
Hey, Andre, welcome back. Um, Wanted to ask you just about Patrick Jones the second. He didn't play a lot of snaps from scrimmages here. I know it obviously takes time to learn the position at defensive end, but what do you think of his season, and what do you kind of think of Patrick moving forward?
Well, I think he gets better every day. I think he gets better every day in practice. He's got a chance to play some in games. I think that's going to help him down the line, just like it did with James Lynch a year ago. And, for you guys, it's a little bit different because you only get to see him on game day. But I get to watch them and evaluate them every day. And so I get a chance to see the progress they're making. And when the season's over, I get to sit down and visit with them and go over the things that they need to do to improve, to take their game to a new level. And like James Lynch took it to heart, and you can see the improvement in his games this year. And I think the same thing is going to happen with Pat.
Andrew.
Hey, Andre, just health-wise, how are you feeling? What was the experience like for you kind of going through that?
I'm feeling a lot better now. It wasn't a lot of fun. It hit me pretty good. I will say, I just think people need to understand how serious this deal is. And it's not about you personally. It's about the people around you, your children, your parents, your grandparents. You don't want them to go through this and have to deal with the effects that come with it once you even get rid of it. And a lot of times in life, we got to make sacrifices for the people we love and for our community and surroundings. And so to be protected from this deal, I think is very important. I'm vaccinated. I had the booster, the whole 9 yards, and I still got it, and it still knocked me down pretty good. So it's scary for me to even think what would have happened to me if I hadn't been vaccinated and didn't have a booster. So, my thoughts during those times were my grandson, my children, not wanting to give it to them. And so I just think, sometimes we got to think about what's best for us as a community more than it just being about our own individual feelings. And so that hit me even stronger after going through it.
I think you've mentioned in the past. Oh, sorry. I think you mentioned in the past that those conversations are between you and the players when you talk about it. But has this kicked up any conversations just in general between players, just with you about kind of this instance and the importance of this?
No, I mean, they obviously they all reached out to me. I still stayed, even though I was sick. I still stayed in the Zoom meetings. I still conducted the meetings during the week, and they could hear the difference in my voice. They could hear the coughing. They knew I was struggling with it. And so. So after meetings were over, after practice was over, I get constant texts from all of them. So I think they saw the seriousness of it, and but we haven't had any conversations about it.
Sam.
Hey, Andre. As the run defense has struggled here a bit down the stretch, I'm just curious if sort of the numbers would align with what you've seen on film here, as the Rams and Packers put up some big days on the ground.
Yeah, no, I think it's in both games we've had some runs that we didn't fit correctly. The biggest run in the Packer game, we called a pressure, and You know, the guys that were supposed to play it straight, they ran the pressure off that side. That gave them a short edge. You know, and I think, you know, it's hard to get continuity when you're playing a bunch of different guys, and that's been the thing that's been our issue. You know, from the beginning, you know, because of injury, because of COVID, you know, I think we've never played a game with the 11 guys on defense that we thought we were going to have starting in training camp. So, you know, that's part of what happens during an NFL season, but I think a lack of continuity has helped hurt us throughout the course of the season.
Chris?
Yeah, my question, Andre, is a little bit on the same lines. You touched upon a little bit with some of the guys you didn't have, but how disappointed are you? I mean, you guys are 31st in the NFL in total defense when you see that particular statistic for this season.
Well, you know, you're disappointed because that hasn't been us. You know, we've been one of the better defenses in the league since I've been here. So, you know, that hasn't been us. But, you know, you are what the numbers say you are. And, you know, so right now, you know, your focus is on trying to play well enough to beat the Bears on Sunday. And so we haven't played up to the standard that we like to have around here as a total defense. And since the day we came into Minnesota, but it just didn't work out for us this year. But so right now our focus is on trying to find a way to slow down the Chicago Bears.